It is I, Bostradamus. Oakland at KC Thursday night, a fantastic game. Two teams I think will make the playoffs. I thought Kansas City would be a 3-point favorite, and they are. They're a strong three, so I'm sure people like Kansas City to win. To me, this game's kind of a coin flip game. It's pretty hard to pick. A lot of hard games to pick this week, but I'm gonna go with Oakland just because I've been going with them the whole time, and picked them to win the division. So they don't necessarily have to win this to win the division, but it would pretty much lock it up for them. So KC's defense obviously tough, but Oakland looked pretty crisp last week. So I'm gonna take them once again. Wouldn't be surprised if the short turnover, all the hype kind of adds up, and KC does find a way to win big. But I'm definitely going to take Oakland. Denver at Tennessee, a fantastic game. I thought Tennessee would be a 1.5-point favorite, and they are. They're a 1-point favorite, which I was kind of surprised that they actually were, because Denver's got the great defense. Total's only 43.5, so this probably will be a low-scoring game. Two teams with better defenses than offenses. I do like Denver's receivers, but I think Tennessee's got the better quarterback. So I'm going to take Tennessee in this game. I think this will be a kind of game where Mariota starts to look like he's going to be one of the better quarterbacks in the league. Top 16, top 10 type quarterback going into next year and this season. So I think he'll make a few plays, and Denver will kind of struggle maybe a little bit. Tennessee can keep them from making big plays. I think they'll win the game. San Diego at Carolina. I thought Carolina would be a 2-point favorite or 2.5, but they're only a 1.5-point favorite. Hosting San Diego. Philip Rivers coming back to where he played college ball for 4 years. Real high point total, 48.5. Kuechly is apparently going to be questionable for this game, and who knows, he might play. And if he plays, I definitely like Carolina to win. I'll take Carolina anyway. Two quarterbacks I was fans of in college, but and for a while in the pros, but I'm kind of over both of them now. But I think this will be a high-scoring, interesting game. I'll take Carolina. Houston and Indy. I thought Indy would be a big favorite. They're 6-point favorites. I thought they'd be 5. Houston's got the big-time defense, but they got a lot of guys that are hurt. So I'm going to take the Colts. They've looked pretty sharp, so I think they'll win by, 7 to 9 points, somewhere in there. It's a high point total, 47. The Colts have been scoring so much and not looked great on defense. So from Houston's perspective, you're definitely looking for what you can get out of Osweiler. Colts they've been playing better, but they're not a good defense at all. So, and this is for the division, really. I mean, Tennessee. I can't remember if the Colts and Titans have another game left or not. I know the Colts have had the Titans numbers, so this goes a long way to win the division for sure, especially if Tennessee loses. But we'll see how that shakes out. It's definitely going to be whoever wins. They're probably not getting past the wild card round. Definitely not farther past that. But it is kind of interesting division race. Cincy at Cleveland. I thought Cleveland would be a big 5-point favorite or so. Or actually 5.5 or 6. I think earlier in the season I said this game is usually a crazy rivalry game, and usually the worst team wins on the road quite often, but I don't think anything like that will happen this year. I think I took Cincinnati to win earlier. I'm going to take them again, even without AJ. They looked great last week. Maybe forcing themselves to look for other options, got their offense moving a little bit more. I don't know. And maybe their defense will finish strong. They're kind of out of it, but they've got a lot of guys that are probably playing for contracts next season and stuff like that. So I think they'll finish strong, even though they're kind of out of it. Pittsburgh at Buffalo. This was the most surprising one to me. I thought Buffalo would be like a 3 or 3.5 point underdog, but they're only 1.5 or 2. So I'm gonna still take Pittsburgh, but I definitely, if this is a cold weather game, if there's any snow on the ground, I wouldn't be surprised if Tyrod Taylor makes a lot of plays. Pittsburgh's not that great on defense, even though they've been playing better the last few weeks. I could definitely see Pittsburgh playing well in the cold as well. They have before. Bell could still have a big game, and they like that receiver reverse. Got a lot of talented receivers and a veteran quarterback. So I'm going to take Pittsburgh to win. I'm definitely surprised. The Wise Guys were high on Buffalo last week, and they didn't really do much. They were outplaying Oakland last week, but then kind of blew it in the end. I guess Sammy Watkins being back, they think that he's going to be a big playmaker. This is nice weather. This game will probably go way over 47 and a half. This will definitely one you have to check back, but I think it's going to be a real fun game to watch. I'm going to take Pittsburgh. Arizona at Miami. I thought Miami would be just a small favorite, and they are. They're only 1 point favorite. These teams have had kind of opposite seasons. The Cardinals have had a real tough schedule. The Dolphins have had a favorable schedule, and they were able to run off that win streak. But trends like that seem to catch up this time of year. So even though Arizona's 1-4 on the road and Miami's 5-1 at home, I'm going to take Arizona. This is pretty much a coin toss game, though. I could see. I mean, you could see either team winning big in this game. Might be a real interesting game. The total's only 43.5, so it'll probably be a real tight one. Chicago at Detroit. I thought Detroit would be a big 7-point favorite, and they're actually 7.5 or 8. So I'm definitely going to take Detroit. Total's real low, 43.5. This is kind of a must-win game for Detroit. They got real tough games, and they played the Giants, and they got a bunch of tough games down the stretch. Oh yeah, at the Cowboys, week 16. They got at the Giants next week. So this is kind of a must-win game for Detroit. So look for them to take care of the ball and make sure they get the victory. I think they'll win by at least 4 or 5. Anything over 8 or 9, I don't know. If Chicago comes out and plays well, then that'll get Detroit fired up, and maybe they will score a lot of points and blow them up. But I don't think Chicago will play that well, and Detroit will win. Probably not the best-looking game ever. Minnesota at Jacksonville. I thought Jaguars would be a 3-point underdog, and they're 3.5 or more. And this is obviously a must-win game for Minnesota, and it's kind of a must-win game for not so much for the quarterback, but maybe for the coach. This is the kind of game where they need to win. They don't have any kind of big wins this season. This could be one down the stretch if both those guys, especially the coach, want to be back next season. Total is only 39.5, so Minnesota is a bad matchup for Jacksonville. So I'm going to take Minnesota. They've got one of the best passing defenses in the league against a team that can't run the ball and has struggled to throw it. And I think his receivers are pretty good, so I think a lot of pressure's on Bortles and the coaching staff in this one. I'm going to take Minnesota 20-17. I by no means like the Vikings that much, and not that great on offense, obviously. New Orleans at Tampa Bay. This is one of the most interesting games to me. I thought Tampa Bay would be a 3-point favorite or even a 4-point favorite, and they're actually like 2.5 or a week 3. So I'm gonna stay with Tampa Bay. You could say Tampa Bay's been the best team in the league the last 3 weeks. They beat down the Chiefs on the road, beat Seattle, but didn't let them do anything on offense really in the first half, and then 14-5 or something, and then beat the Chargers on the road in San Diego last week. So the total is 51.5. I don't know what happened to the Saints last week. I'm guessing they're just going to magically bounce back and be on fire again this week. I could definitely see Brandon Cooks having a big game, and I could see it being a real high total for sure. I'm going to take Tampa Bay just because they've looked way better, though, especially the last 3 weeks. And these teams will play each other again 2 weeks from now, so don't be surprised if this is a real interesting matchup. Or I could see New Orleans winning this and then losing it at home to Tampa Bay in a couple weeks if Tampa Bay continues to look good. I'm going to take Tampa in this one in the shootout. Washington at Philly. This is definitely a coin flipper to me. I thought Washington would be just a slight 2-point favorite or so, and they're 1.5 or 1. I'm going to take Washington. just because, I mean, this is a coin flipper to me. I think Washington's got a few more players. Uh, Hard to say who's better on defense or offense, really, on both sides of the ball for this team. I guess Cousins didn't look great last week, but he's had a pretty good season. But I wouldn't be surprised if Wentz finally has another big game. Jets at San Fran. I thought San Fran would be a slight favorite, and they are, and I'm going to take them to win. I don't know why you'd watch this game or be a I by no means think San Fran's that big a favorite, or the Jets can't win this game. They could easily win. They could win by 7 or more. You never know. But we'll move on to this next fantastic game: Seattle at Green Bay. I was hoping the Hawks would be a slight favorite, and they are. They're 2.5 to 3. The total's right at 46.5. So this will probably be another one where you want to look back at the weather. If it's bad weather, I think it'll probably favor Seattle, actually. Just with the way Green Bay likes to run the ball. Christine Michael will be playing against the team that waived him, and I think he still leads the team in rushing. So that might have been part of the reason Green Bay picked him up. So I could see him having a big game too. I heard people saying the Earl Thomas loss wasn't that big a deal, and it's a huge deal, especially in a game like this. He was having arguably his best season, maybe not numbers-wise, but he was playing to his peak performance. I thought he was fantastic, so fun to watch this year. When Cam came back, you obviously saw the impact he had, but when you got playing a team like Green Bay with all these receivers lined up, having a guy like Earl is crucial. But I'm going to hope we can keep running the ball. Rawls has a big game, and I think we'll look to stop Christine Michael and whoever Green Bay tries to run. I'm not too worried about them running the ball. I am worried about them tossing it around. Rodgers has been scared of Sherman in the past. I don't think he'll be scared this game. I don't know. He's looked great the last couple of weeks, so I'm going to take Seattle to win, but definitely not by more than 3 or 4. ATL at Los Angeles. I thought the Falcons would be a 4-point favorite or 4.5, and they're actually 6-point favorites. So I was going to take Atlanta anyway. I'm going to take them to win 24-17. Because they do have injuries on defense. So if Goff can't play well in this game, I'm not sure how good a quarterback he's going to be moving forward, especially in LA. LA has had favorable calls at home, and ATL's kind of got burnt on that. But I don't think that'll happen in this game. I think Atlanta will score enough to win, and Los Angeles Rams will sputter again on offense. Dallas at the Giants. Fantastic game here. Sunday night matchup. I think it'll play out as a fantastic game as well. I thought the Giants would be – I actually thought the Giants might be a 1 or 2 point favorite. And, of course, Dallas is the favorite. But I'm going to take the Giants. I'm definitely a believer in the Cowboys and what they're doing. I'm going to take the Giants to win 30-27. And I'm going to say Odell has a big game. And but the Cowboys' O-line is ridiculous. It's probably the best offensive line, especially running the ball, I've ever seen. It looks like the offensive line they had in the 90s when Emmitt Smith had that crazy. And don't be surprised if Elliott has a stretch like that. It's hard to say Emmitt's career-wise numbers are ridiculous, but they're just steamrolling teams, and they look ridiculous out there. So, but I think you can't really game plan for Odell all the time. I think he's kind of due for a big game, so I'll say he'll be the difference. The total's 47.5, so it'll probably be a real exciting game. Baltimore at New England. I thought New England would only be like a 5-point favorite because Baltimore looked so good last week, but they're actually 7 or even 7.5. I definitely like New England. I'll say they win by up to 9 points or so, but it'll be interesting to see Steve Smith in prime time game. And this team hasn't been getting a lot of respect, even though they're 7-5. And you look at their record; they haven't been that impressive. So I think New England will handle their business here. I am kind of surprised. It'll be interesting to see if they're still a huge favorite on game time, because Baltimore's beaten them in the past. So it would be a huge win for Baltimore, especially with the Steelers right behind them. So it'll be a fun Monday night game if Baltimore can hang around. All right, see you next time.